Baldurs Gate 3, the game where your strategies and gear play an important role in your quest to survive. Throughout your journey, items can be obtained in various ways, such as trading, opening chests, and as quest rewards. But not today. The only way we are getting gear is by looting corpses. That's right, just some good old-fashioned grave robbing. I think it's time to meet the group that believes one man's tragedy is another man's armor upgrade. Up first, we have Astarion.
I'm here in the spirit of openness and honesty, to work together as a team.
Shadowheart.
My whole life has been leading up to this.
Gale.
You know for yourself how hard-won such an item was, and it will be no easier when even more are required to assuage my hunger. There'll be danger involved.
And lastly, we have Evelyn. If she looks familiar, it's because she is the sister of Evan. I think that's all you need to know about her morals. Now for the rules of the challenge. It will be tactician difficulty. I must only get items from dead bodies. This means no trading, stealing, picking up items off the floor, etc, etc, etc. To add some extra challenge, there can only be one of each class. I thought a group of monks would be too strong for this. Lastly, when a new act starts, I must drop all of my items. Act 1, The Deviant Alliance. Our journey begins on the beach where we must first drop all of our gear. With nothing but our underwear and PJs, it was time to get to work. I did end up using some cosmetic mods so I could allow Evelyn to look more elegant, but just so you're aware, it would not impact the challenge in any way. We then went ahead and recruited all of our fellow grave robbers.
This is a terrible idea. You know that, yes?
Then we met up with the mysterious skeleton known as Withers. He will allow us to respec all our characters into their new classes. Up first is Evelyn. She's currently a level 3 College of Law Bard. Next, we have Shadowheart. She's a level 3 Life Domain Cleric. Astarion is a level 3 Open Hand Monk, and before you say anything, I realized later on that he is not proficient with leather armor. Lastly, we have Gale, the Storm Sorcerer of Waterdeep. With our team assembled, it was time to find our first victims. These guys don't know what's about to hit them. For our troubles, we receive a Mind Flayer Parasite. These can be used to learn new abilities, which will be useful considering I won't have the best of gear. We continue our travels for a few minutes and Gale decides to stop us, because he is hungry of course.
Needs must when the devil drives. I have no choice but to speak. You see, I have this condition.
Not just any condition. He must eat magical items at random points in the story. This'll be handy, as I'm gonna lose all my best gear. Goodbye, gloves.
Tasty.
We press on and make our way to Joaquin's Rest, not to help anyone, but just to loot all the bodies in the area. We pick up some new armor and a few potions, so overall it was a pretty good trip. Back on the road again, we encounter the gnolls. I decided to go for a combination of Create Water and a Ray of Frost to create an icy surface. My plan is to be a scumbag and hope they all slip over to waste their turns. For good measure, I also chucked a cloud of daggers to deal some extra damage. This worked to begin with, but the gnolls take a lot of actions per turn and eventually they just overpowered my team. Not to worry, I cast Sanctuary on Shadowheart and run away. Luckily at this point I had enough gold to speak with Withers to revive Evelyn and Astarion. I need to be careful though, as I'll only have a limited amount of gold. We then head back to finish off the gnolls. Reviving Gale is a bit more complicated to say the least. He has a multi-layered security protocol to follow.
Use it to bring me back to life. Now,
Repeat my instructions back to me, please.
Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Let's just hope for the best. With Gale revived, we can continue to find our next bit of gear. We meet up with Karlak and she will help us eradicate the Paladins of Tyr. Now you might be thinking, how am I gonna beat Anders at this early stage? It's simple, really. We exit the building and put a double layer of Cloud of Daggers on the doorway. Anders falls right into our trap and takes some damage. On my next turn, I use Thunder Wave, which will push him back through the daggers. On his turn, he'll try to reach us once more and he will meet his demise. The other two are no problems. For our reward, we get 3 Scrolls of Revivify, which will be very useful. We also get some new armor and a sword for Gale to eat. Back onto the main quest, we reach the outskirts of the Goblin village.
Let's try to be diplomatic, shall we?
Oh, that was worth it, Daddy!
With those guys taken care of, we approach the village only to be stopped in our tracks by a magical force. Luckily, our friend Shadowheart is here to save us with the mysterious artifact. She then reveals to us that she is a servant of Shah, and that her mission is to deliver the artifact to a cloister in Baldurs Gate. With that new information, we head inside the village where my good luck continues. Anyway, we rescue Volo because he is a good man, and then we meet up with the Night Warden Minthara. Minthara is looking for the Druid Grove, a place we have visited off screen, but we won't tell her that. She then gets us to interrogate a prisoner to try find the location of the grove. We help the prisoner Halsin escape because we have ulterior motives. They examine the Mind Flayer parasite in our head, but have no luck extracting it. However, they give us a name of a location of a place we can go to try find a cure. Moonrise Towers. With that information, Halsin is no longer useful to us, so we betray him and tell Minthara exactly where the grove is. All that backstabbing has made Evelyn tired, so we rest for the night. We wake up to Astarion of all people trying to bite us. Ah yes, classic misunderstanding, happens all the time. But there is no denying Astarion is a vampire. We allow him to feed on us to gain his trust, as he's a good man deep down, I'm sure of it.
This is a gift, you know. I won't forget it.
The next day we roll into the Druid Grove. Zevlor is happy to see us and invites us in. I mean, what's the worst that could happen letting the grave robbers in? Minthara and her forces arrive and the showdown is about to commence.
This is it. Everything turns on this.
So naturally, we betray the grove and open the gate. That's right, Zevlor. Your gear will make a fine addition to my collection. I don't even know if I should call this a battle. The tieflings stand no chance against us. We take the Hell Rider's Pride gloves off Zevlor's body and head further into the grove. We don't discriminate and kill them all. Not just the men, but the women and the children too. But hey, at least we got this cool necklace to deal some extra damage. Moving on, we descend into the Underdark to begin our trek towards Moonrise Towers. Before we get too far, a man appears out of thin air.
Well met, I am Raphael.
He teleports us to a place known as the House of Hope. Raphael then reveals his true form to us. He then tries to persuade us to sign a deal, but there's no chance of that happening. Our group would rather just defeat him and take his stuff. Until next time, Raphael. Gale once again complains that he is hungry, so there goes another good item.
Good.
And what one might call a wizard prodigy.
Very humble of you, Gale. He then reveals his connection with the goddess Mystra. To cut the story short, Gale has an orb in his chest that he needs to keep under control through the use of magical items. If it were to destabilize, well...
I will erupt.
How wonderful. We carry on and pick a fight with some Dwergar. For this fight, Cloud of Daggers reigns supreme once more. We can lure a lot of enemies into it and also destroy the ladder at the same time. This gives me enough turns to isolate each of the Dwergar and take them out individually. With them defeated, we steal the boat and set sail. Things can never be easy, and some more of the Dwergar appear. I know what I have to do. We continue on and enter the Grim Forge area. We make a beeline for the elevator that will take us to the Shadow-Cursed lands. Upon arrival, we are given one last warning.
We were warned about the curse. Can't say I fancy our chances without a moon lantern.
Whatever, Gale. No one asked for your opinion. The game then states the next area will be bitterly difficult since we are only level 4. We'll be fine, I'm sure of it. Since we're about to start the next act, it's time to drop all of our gear once more. With all of our gear left behind, we meet up with an old man.
Elminster?
The very same, Gale. And a fair bit miffed he is, too.
Elminster informs us that he is here on behalf of the goddess Mystra. He states that Gale is the chosen one to stop the Absolute. To achieve this, Elminster will be able to calm the orb in his chest, so he will no longer get hungry. In exchange, he can explode at will. This will allow Gale to destroy the Absolute at their source when the time is right. With that in mind, we now begin our journey into the Shadow-Cursed lands. Act 2, Shadows of Despair. With no torches, the Shadow Curse will inflict large amounts of damage on us. So it looks like it's time for Shadowheart to take the lead. As a loyal servant of the goddess Shah, Shadowheart is protected from the effects of the Shadow Curse. We head deeper into the Shadow-Cursed lands until we encounter some Harpers. They are clearly intimidated by Shadowheart's appearance and threaten us to surrender. But suddenly, we are introduced to the real threats. The shadows are very deadly, so my best course of action is to use Sanctuary to protect Shadowheart. We then just sit back and watch as they take each other out. I'm able to go around and loot all the items from the fallen Harpers. Most importantly, I am able to acquire some torches for the rest of the crew. We then retreat and gear ourselves up. Now that we can travel in the shadows, we sneak our way past the last encounter. Foolishly, I get detected at the last moment and we are thrust into battle. It goes horribly and we lose Evelyn and Astarion. I have no choice but to send Gale as a sacrifice so Shadowheart can make an escape. We make it back to camp only to realize I can't take a long rest without Evelyn being alive.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
We then head back out and find a group of true souls with a moon lantern, an item we need to travel into the deeper shadows. Unfortunately, as a cleric, there is no chance I can defeat them at this stage. What we need is some allies, so I head to the Last Light Inn. We are greeted by the famous druid JJareli. She is skeptical about Shadowheart's intentions, and who can blame her? Luckily, this random stranger Marcus comes to our aid. Marcus, a fellow true soul, persuades JJareli to release us, and we gain access to the inn.
You may just be the godsend we've been praying for.
We head upstairs and meet Marcus. He informs us of his big-time plan to capture the cleric Isabel. We don't have any allies at this point, so we join forces. Isabel has already been snarky with us before we even say anything.
Frankly, I'm surprised you're willing to help us. Your kind aren't known for their decency.
That baseless slander won't be tolerated. She'll regret messing with Shadowheart. With Isabel incapacitated, the protective moon shield surrounding the inn is destroyed. The outcome of this is quite dire for the people residing here, but maybe they deserved it. The curse turns everyone hostile, and we have one turn to begin our escape. Now, before you say just cast Sanctuary and run away, take a closer look at my spell slots. I can't use any spells until I save Evelyn and have a long rest. My only hope is to leg it. I managed to get a big enough gap I can flee combat, but the problem still remains. How do I get out of the last light in area? If we enter this building, we can climb downstairs. This leads to an underground tunnel where we can navigate our way through, and eventually end up in the cellar of the last light inn. This may seem pointless, as I'm right back where I started, but the difference is I'm not in combat, so I can stealth attack to get an extra turn. I then hide behind this tent out of the enemy's line of sight. This ends combat once more, so I can sneak my way out of the camp undetected. Now, was dooming an entire group of people the right thing to do morally? Maybe not, but it was the right thing to do for Shadowheart, as we acquired some extra health that will be essential to continue our quest. We sneak past the true souls from earlier and enter the deeper shadows. Each turn the damage will increase, so we have to limit our time in these deeper shadows. Luckily I can make it all the way to the safety of Moonrise Towers. Inside we meet up with the main villain of the act, Ketheric. He has sentenced Minthara from earlier to death. You might think that's a bad thing, but a dead Minthara is a good Minthara. For the grave robbers I mean. Normally I never do this, Minthara is my girl, but it is desperate times. So long. Wait, she's still alive? My plan is ruined! We continue the main quest and Zarel informs us about a relic we need to obtain, and our only lead is a man known as Balthazar. To reach him, we can take a moon lantern from his room. Or we would normally. Unfortunately, it's not on a dead body, so it is of no use to us. On to plan B. I explored Moonrise, and with a bit of luck, I am able to heal Shadowheart as best I can, and we head back into the shadows. We make our way to the toll house and convince the Thorm to give up their career choice. We can then loot her to get a large amount of gold and a new mace. We then make our escape. Being in the shadows, you need to remember the longer I'm in here, the more damage I will take. We take a large amount of damage in that turn, but we are able to escape with 1 HP to spare. We can now revive Evelyn at long last. With the power of editing, we can skip all the filler. I got enough gold to revive the whole squad, and now we can get back to business. We ambush Karnas and the True Souls in our attempt to steal the Moon Lantern. I send Astarion first, as he has the most movement. We lure the enemies to the nearby building where my squad awaits on the rooftop. A strange place to hang out, I know, but it is of the utmost importance for our victory. I can now destroy the ladder and the web to prevent enemies climbing up here. Unfortunately, Cansif still managed to jump high enough and eliminated Gale and Astarion. But no matter, the ladies will take it from here. From the high ground, we can pick off the remaining enemies until just Karnas remains. Now, the best part is Karnas has no ranged attack, so he just skips his turn over and over. This allows our weak crossbows to slowly whittle him down, and there's nothing he can do about it.
I don't want to hear another word! You're a disgrace to the game!
With Karnas defeated, we loot them to get the Cruel Sting Sword and the all-important Moon Lantern. We release the pixie inside and they grant us immunity from the Shadow Curse. Our good fortune does not end there. Shadowheart reached level 5, giving us the Revivify spell, so I can now revive people without the need for withers. We rest for the night and Astarion is looking pretty good for being over 200 years old. We discover that he has some runes carved into his back, but the language does not make sense. Luckily, Astarion has a plan to solve this mystery. We will find an expert, of course, that being the man known as Raphael. Before we go to bed, Evelyn lets Astarion know how much he means to her. It could be romantic feelings, or perhaps it's because he is our strongest fighter. Only time will tell. The next morning we head straight to the pub. I must be rubbing off on Evelyn already, as she refuses to have some beer. It was a good decision though, the drink was quite explosive. We then meet Malice Thorm, who is a man of questionable beliefs. But not the sharpest tool in the shed, as we convince him to perform surgery on himself, resulting in us getting a nice new amulet. We continue our adventures and return to the Last Light Inn, a place once full of hope, now haunted by shadows. We begin this encounter with our ever-faithful cloud of daggers. The main strategy is to keep our distance and lure enemies in small groups through the daggers. Astarion will be waiting to deal the lethal blow on anyone who makes it through. Defeating the Quartermaster gave us some really good armor and a staff. With everyone finally defeated, it was time to loot all the bodies. We gained an assortment of potions and basic armor to further upgrade our team. Back on task, we meet up with Raphael. Astarion makes a deal with him. The conditions are simple: defeat the beast in the temple below and he will read the runes on his back. Onto the Temple of Shah. We meet up with Balthazar first.
Ah, the interloper. And in one piece as well.
He informs us of the location of the relic, but first we must obtain all the gems to reach it. Our last gem is guarded by Yrgir, the beast Raphael was alluding to. We use the power of our words to convince this beast to slay his closest ally, and then himself. I guess a sharp tongue is deadlier than any sword.
I see the art of eloquence is alive and well. I'm awed, impressed, and a little bit scared of you right now.
We obtain the final gem and then loot the Yrgir to get the Hellfire Hand crossbow. With our end of the bargain complete, we meet up with Raphael once more. Turns out the writing is part of a ritual that Astarion's master Cazador is trying to complete to ascend. This ritual requires sacrificing the lives of many, including Astarion, but luckily, Cazador has not tracked us down yet. Moving on, we head back to Moonrise Tower to clear out all the enemies. We take out our good friend Marcus first to get his ring so we can cast invisibility. Then it was on to Zrel, as she gives us some scrolls and a new shield. Lastly, we take out the merchant and get the Sentinel shield. This is a very useful shield as it gives us +3 initiative. Back in the temple, Shadowheart starts becoming needy. She says we can't continue unless we get the Spear of the Night. So, we backtrack and discover the spear is out in the open. Now I could just leave it, but Shadowheart would abandon our party. I know you all love Shadowheart, so I'll make an exception this time. Let's just pretend that the spear was carried by this Justicia. In terms of the challenge, I could have just used Lae'zel in Shadowheart's place, so it does not make any impact gameplay-wise. We enter the Shadowfell and meet up with Balthazar. He informs us the relic we need is this woman known as the Night Song. Shadowheart intervenes as usual, and states that Balthazar cannot have her as she has her own plans. So I guess we have no choice. Balthazar, you are going down. Now this is where the fun begins. I lost a lot of important footage, so you might notice some strange things happening from here on out. Just know I recreated what happened at certain points in the story. The next battle went a little something like this.
Army or not, you must realize you are doomed.
Oh, I don't think so.
With Balthazar defeated, Shadowheart fulfilled her destiny and slayed the Night Song using the Spear of the Night. This impressed the goddess Shah, and Shadowheart gained the power to become a Dark Justicia. We then teleport ahead. Don't worry, the tower was empty and Ketheric was easy to defeat. We jump into the Mind Flayer colony and observe the 3 main villains, Gortash, Orin, and Ketheric. They are using the Netherstones to control an Elder Brain. Gale then intervenes as his time has come.
One last gale to end them all.
Just like that, the Absolute is defeated and our story comes to an end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to see more in the future. Just kidding. What really happened was we told Gale to shut up and we confronted Ketheric. We witnessed what has become of the cleric Isabel, and well, she won't be suffering for much longer once we are done here. For this battle, I send Astarion straight to the Mind Flayer and stun it. Gale then casts Twinned Haste on himself and Evelyn. This allows us to take extra turns, and we can deal with the large amount of enemies. Once they were taken care of, I reposition my crew to the high ground and leave Astarion behind. This will give me a good setup for the next phase of the battle. Time to teach Merkel, the Lord of Bones, a lesson. With Gale, I cast Call Lightning, as I can do consistent damage for only one spell slot. Meanwhile, I have Astarion on the floor taking care of all the necromites before they can spawn. To enhance Gale's lightning damage, I cast Water with Shadowheart to make Merkel wet. I then cast Hunger of Hadar to blind them. At the halfway point, Merkel will start eating necromites to heal back up. So this is the time where all my strategy goes out the window and we just rush them. I make sure to keep Merkel stunned with Astarion. Then I go to town.
Back up, that's how you get tough. Calluses on my hands so rough, yeah, I call your bluff. I'm not the one, mess with me and come out with none. Cause I'm so done, you had your fun. And now you're gonna face down the barrel of the gun. Cause I got a full clip with your name on it. But I'ma let you slide cause you ain't worth it. Time stays strong, need to move on.
With Merkel defeated, Ketheric returns just to take an eternal nap. But that's fine with us, as we can obtain his netherstone and make our way to Baldurs Gate. Act 3. The Red Grave City. Evelyn's peaceful nap is interrupted by the mysterious artifact causing a bit of mischief. We are ambushed by some Githyanki, and instead of fighting, we make a quick dash for the portal to enter the astral plane. There looks to be some conflict going on, so we'll check it out. This Mind Flayer known as the Emperor claims to be the one who has been protecting us all along. Without doing any fact-checking, we team up with him, as I don't think my team is in a good state to win in our underwear. The battle commences and we are all taken out pretty quickly. Who would have thunk it? As a last resort, I cast Sanctuary on Shadowheart and let the Emperor do the rest of the fighting. Turns out he is quite powerful when he wants to be. Normally he's quite useless. The Emperor then goes on a whole monologue about his life, but no one really cares about that. So, once he's finished talking, we make our way to Rivington. Evelyn and Shadowheart are the only two alive at this point, so it's time for a girls' trip. A man tries to put some moves on Shadowheart, but she's having none of it.
Do I know you?
He then tells us to go to the House of Grief if Shadowheart is to complete her mission. We continue our adventures and witness a public dispute. One of them had some nice armor, so I think we should intervene and take it from their dead body. Unfortunately, I underestimated our opponents and we have to shamelessly run away. On a positive note, I unlocked this waypoint without having to deal with the guards. We then head back and decide to bring the guys back to life so we can have a fair fight against them later on. Before that, we make a quick stop to the pleasure house. To speak with Raphael, of course. Get your mind out of the gutter. He reveals to us a location known as the House of Hope that is bound to have some good gear for us to acquire. Afterwards, we head next door to the Flophouse, where we encounter two vampires upstairs.
Astarion! It cannot be.
Oh, that's no way to welcome back a brother, doll. Didn't you miss me?
We let Astarion take the lead and he interrogates them to find the location of his master, Cazador. They are easily persuaded and reveal there is a hidden chapel underneath Cazador's palace. With that new information, we head back and beat up those chumps from earlier. This allows us to get some starter gear for the act. Our next stop is the Gur camp, where we meet the people who have been trying to hunt down Astarion.
I was rather hoping I'd never see you people again. Honestly.
So we do the right thing and defeat them all. I mean, we needed the gear upgrades. Moving on, we head to the lower city of Baldurs Gate. Our first stop, the House of Grief. We go in not to make friends, but to take over this whole operation. We defeat Viconia and get 3 powerful items. A new robe for Gale, a mace for Evelyn, and a shield for Shadowheart. With our group's intervention, the Cloister elect Shadowheart as their new leader. I'm sure having these guys as allies will help later on in the story. The next night, Evelyn's sleep is disturbed once more. It's those damn vampires again. I thought they would know you should never get between a woman and her sleep.
What a mess. Well, at least you've met my family now.
Since we don't want to be disturbed anymore, we break into Cazador's palace. Astarion has a score to settle with his family.
Look at you. Crawling back after abandoning your family. You should be begging our forgiveness.
You son of a...
So that went just as well as you would expect. No matter, it's time to turn this duel around. I send Evelyn in first while she's invisible so we can rescue Astarion straight away. Meanwhile, Shadowheart and Gale will be holding the line and defending the entrance.
I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guessed. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got hard. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back.
With all of the minions defeated, we just had Cazador left to deal with. I thought my trusty strategy of pushing people off the edges would do the job. But it turns out Cazador is immune to such low blow moves. Well, I've tried nothing and I'm out of ideas. Time to make an escape. Our party makes a bold sacrifice so Astarion can get away, preventing the ritual from being completed. Now, is Astarion someone we can trust? Will he even come back? Boy, I hope so. Turns out he's not the richest man, so even with good intentions, we couldn't revive anyone with withers. On to our next plan. We head to the Stormshore Tabernacle. This nice innocent person here has what we need, so it's time to die. Not only do we get a new mace and cloak, we get some scrolls of Revivify, just what we need to save our crew. We make our way back to Cazador and he's guarding the staircase, so we sneak around the side undetected, and would you look at that? Evelyn is out in the open and we can revive her. Just my luck, we only have one spell slot to cast invisibility, so we use it on Evelyn so she can escape and we can have a long rest. Astarion still has some unfinished business to take care of. With his brothers and sisters defeated, he then jumps off the edge. There is a reason behind this. Back with Withers, we can get him to collect all the bodies and bring them back to camp. Using another one of our precious scrolls, we can revive Shadowheart. We then rest for the night to get our spell slots back. Shadowheart can then revive the other two, and we are back in business. With us fully healed, Cazador stood no chance. We let Astarion exact his revenge on his former master, before using the staff's power to end all of the captured vampire spawn. For our efforts, we get a new staff and sword, so sometimes revenge is worth it, I suppose. Our gear collection continues and we head to the Devil's Fee. Helsik has to go, as she's holding the ritual pouch I need to get to the House of Hope. With the ritual complete, we head inside the portal. Inside there's this restoration pool that counts as infinite long rests. This can be useful to come back here all throughout Act 3, but as the menaces to society that we are, I don't think we'll be welcome here much longer. We meet up with Raphael and there's something different about him. I just can't put my finger on it.
This is very naughty.
Whatever are we to do?
Why don't we play a game?
I think we might save those games for another time. We do obtain the very useful Hell Dust gloves, however. When we're about to leave, the doors slam shut. So I do a detour and rescue Hope off screen and dispose of the hammer. Through the doors we meet the real Raphael. He wasn't very happy with the destruction we were causing here, but I think it's for the best that we fight him. After all, I'll get to steal his clothes once I'm finished with him. We also managed to persuade Jörgir from earlier to help us in this fight. Our team takes a beating early, but our new friend Hope is a dedicated healer, which is nice. She can also banish enemies, instantly defeating them. The strategy is to defeat all the Cambions first. Once they're taken care of, we can take out the 4 pillars in the room. Astarion works really well here and can destroy a pillar by himself in 1 turn. With the pillars in pieces, all that remains is Raphael. There's not too much strategy here, just do as much damage as possible while our clerics provide healing.
Preposterous that any of us are alive. That we were not.
After the battle, Yurgir pledges his loyalty to us for a future battle. We then loot Raphael to get the best armor in the game. It requires no proficiency, so it's gone straight onto Astarion. Now, I think that's enough filler. Let's get back to the main quest and get those nether stones. Before heading to Gortash, we head to the Steel Watch Foundry and pick up a very good bow. We then blow up the factory to disable all of the Steel Watches. This will help in the upcoming battle. In the fortress, we can make this battle in the hallway ridiculously easy. We simply just exit and head back downstairs. This keeps us in combat, but no enemies can reach us. We then load up the entranceway with various spells. One by one, enemies will walk downstairs and into our trap. We can then just use spells with knockback to push them back inside and they are defeated. We continue upstairs and meet Gortash. He tries to intimidate us to hand over our netherstone, but Evelyn fears no man.
If you want it, then you'll have to take it.
We start the battle by casting invisibility and run away. We can then get a few sneak attacks in before we start combat once more. Evelyn can then head outside to meet the rest of our crew. We load up the only pathway once more. This will weaken them significantly before they can even reach us. Once they break through, we take out all of the guards first. This just leaves Gortash. He is quite a formidable foe, or so I've been told. Astarion, you know what to do. With Gortash defeated, we obtain some decent armor upgrades and, most importantly, the second netherstone. To reach Orin and the final stone, we must first meet up with Saravok. He's willing to help us as we showcase our murderous intent through defeating Gortash. There is one last obstacle we must go through to prove our loyalty. We must sacrifice a celestial being.
Never credited Baal with a sense of humor. This is some sick joke of his. Let's not be part of it.
With Evelyn reborn as an unholy assassin, we obtain the Amulet of Baal. By using the amulet, we can now enter the Temple of Baal and confront Orin.
Sticky sweet, but nothing special. Just like you. Come to me, Father. Set my flesh to your unholy purpose.
never been so humiliated in my life!
Not to worry, the battle is just beginning. From a safe distance, we can cast Insect Plague. The reason for this is because there is a group of worshippers who have the Sanctuary spell. This means we can't directly attack them. These worshippers will keep chanting and grant Orin the unstoppable buff, which will make every hit only deal 1 damage to her. So our strategy is simple: defeat the worshippers, then defeat Orin. With Shadowheart, I now cast Sanctuary and head towards Evelyn. I'm able to revive her and cast Sanctuary on her as well. This means Orin will now target Gale and Astarion in the distance, effectively wasting a turn. With Gale, I am now able to use his flight ability to escape Orin and head into the main arena. When it's Astarion's turn, we can then stun Orin.
Ah! Impossible!
We continue taking out the worshippers and I cast Sanctuary on Astarion now. This means Orin must target Evelyn and Gale back inside the arena, so she'll waste another turn. Gale is able to finish off the last of the worshippers just in time. Orin then did something I've never seen before, but she summoned 2 new allies. But it was no big deal now that we can damage her properly. Let the real battle begin.
I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack.
Orin defeated, we obtained the Netherstone as well as some new armor and a powerful dagger. It was time for our crew to set sail. One last quest to achieve our hopes and dreams. When we arrive, we skip the first battle as usual by making Evelyn invisible. We then confront the Brain. With the Netherstones in our possession, the Brain will be no match for us. Never mind. Luckily, the Emperor arrives just in time and rescues us. We hand the stones to him. Hopefully he can have some better luck than us. We are then teleported to the upper city of Baldurs Gate. We can then skip another battle by making Evelyn invisible once more. It was not all smooth sailing as I had to lockpick this door which deactivated my invisibility. I cast it once more and you wouldn't believe my luck. The enemy predicts exactly where I am standing and hits me. But on our next attempt to hide, we get away with it by the skin of our teeth. We can then make our way to the base of the Brain. One long climb later, we reach our final destination. This was it. One last battle to decide the fate of the city.
Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me.
With a bit of preparation, our whole squad was already protected by the Sanctuary spell. We then split up and make our way over to the crown. Once we regroup, I call forth our allies, Yrgir and Shadowheart's followers. They will provide a distraction while the Emperor opens the portal. Once inside, we only have a few turns to defeat the Brain, so we just use our strongest attacks that we have.
I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it.
With the Brain defeated, Evelyn now has a choice to make.
I need more power.
That can't be. This is a setup. I don't know this guy.
So long, Emperor. It was nice doing business with you. We use our new power to descend down to the city. They say with great power comes great responsibility. So the best course of action would be to rid ourselves of the tadpole and continue our adventures with our faithful crew. But power can corrupt even the best of us. Once a grave robber, always a grave robber.
You're full of surprises, aren't you? Honestly, I have no idea what we're doing. Or what comes next. But I know that this is nice.
That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you.
I may not have survived that night without you. I'm trying to say that you've earned my trust in a way very few ever have. I want that to mean something.
At least the citizens of Baldurs Gate will sleep peacefully tonight. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to see more videos in the future. I'll see you all next time.